Edgar, I'm truly afraid that you might one day try killing me with your little pranks too. If anything happens to Alfred's poor heart, remember that this was your idea, and I will throw you under the carriage for roping me into it. I hope we are bad actors and Alfred sees through your ploy. She sighed. This had a bad idea written all over it.
Where's the fun in that? Do not kill my fun, Alessandra. I've gone along willingly with what you wanted to do today. Now it's time to do what I think is fun.
Yes, trying to kill your butler is always fun. Let's get this over with. Alessandra sat down on their bed, awaiting the moment Alfred was supposed to arrive to check on them. What if he did not show up? Was she meant to stay in their room until Edgar got over this? You should change your clothes, Edgar.
Now you want to talk about taking off clothes,
Edgar replied as he walked toward the closet to get a fresh shirt and pants. Alessandra didn't react to his words. She knew a comment like that would set him up. She wanted him to get out of his paint-covered clothes. If you're going to speak with my uncle tomorrow, does that mean you will also be home tomorrow?
Why? Do you miss me when I'm gone?
I should have pushed him into the creek, Alessandra evilly thought. She loved when he was not home, as it would give her a moment to rest her heart. She would bet everything she owned that Alfred also felt the same way.
I have work to do, and although there's no reason for me to leave home tomorrow as of right now, something always pops up, and I am forced to leave. If I am not here, your uncle will not be allowed to step foot on the property. Outside of that, you've been cooped up in the house since we got married. You and Sally can go for a ride around town to shop or do whatever women enjoy,
Edgar said from inside the closet.
Only with guards, of course.
Alessandra liked this idea. She always wanted to go roaming around the town and not just ride around in a carriage, unable to get out as her father told her not to. I would love to go around town with Sally. Maybe I should send a letter to Erin to see if she would be free. I'd like to know if she gained any customers after the ball.
Duchess?
Alfred's voice was heard after the 2 knocks. That was quick. Did he run here or something? Alessandra looked at the closet and saw Edgar exit with a smile on his face. Should I be more concerned than I am already that he loves torturing others?
It's time.
Edgar was the one to walk up to the door and open it to get the ball rolling.
Come to ruin our relationship further, Alfred?
Edgar asked, right as the door opened.
No.
Alfred held up a tray of tea and snacks to show he came in peace. I've given Sally a break and brought what you requested. Duchess, I need to apologize for any misunderstanding I might have caused earlier. Edgar has never brought home a woman. At least, not to my knowledge. There is plenty of space for him to sneak someone onto the property. Edgar's expression quickly changed from amused to annoyed. Alfred's attempt to clarify what he said earlier only left more questions unanswered.
Is he playing with me?
Edgar wondered. It felt like Alfred came to drive a sword into the hole he created between Edgar and Alessandra and rip it open even further. Edgar planned to be playful when it came to fooling Alfred, but now he was out for blood.
You're not making things better for me, Alfred. Alessandra is giving me the cold shoulder thanks to you. She is considering not sleeping in our bedroom because she thinks there might have been someone else where she lays her head at night.
Edgar began his game.
There is no need for you to do such a thing.
He looked at Alessandra. Thank you for the tea and snacks, Alfred. Alessandra ignored Edgar's words. She noticed the way Alfred frowned when she did this and wanted to cry for playing with his emotions. Please, let Sally know she can return shortly. I feel like going on a walk with just her. Alfred was not pleased to hear this. Not too long ago, Alessandra and Edgar were throwing paint at each other and fooling around in the creek. Now they were going their separate ways after something small that he said. Wasn't this a bit too much? Why couldn't the two youngsters talk and get over it? Please, stay and spend more time with your husband. Outside has become awfully cold for you to be going on a walk. Even the inside of the house has become cold, and the servants are throwing wood into the furnace to warm it up. I'm worried the two of you will get sick from playing in the creek. I will keep bringing you tea to stay warm. Is there enough wood present? Alfred questioned, moving to check if they had enough wood. If that's the case, I will go to the library and read a good book. I just want to be alone at this point, said Alessandra.
Are you truly not going to sleep here tonight? Alessandra? You can at least answer me.
Edgar covered his face with his hand as he sighed. It was also to hide the smile threatening to fall on his lips. It was incredible that he got Alessandra to go along with his trick. I think it's good for married couples to be apart for a little bit. Alfred, can I please have a room prepared for me tonight?
Duchess.
Alfred trailed off in disbelief. Why was it only him seeing this as being too dramatic? I apologize if I am overstepping any boundaries, but there is no need for you to sleep in another room.
If you're going to do that, what was the point of us getting married?
Edgar interjected.
I don't have plans to sleep separately from my wife, nor do I have the time to try making up with you for something I have not done. This is not the type of marriage I signed up for. Will you move on from it or not?
I guess I will not. Alessandra stood up from the bed. When you say this is not the marriage you signed up for, does that mean I am not allowed to get upset because you find it to be annoying? You simply have to leave me alone. I just need time to myself. Leave me alone. Duchess. Alfred reached out to Alessandra with a trembling hand. He felt bad for her being like this. He placed his hand on his forehead as he felt lightheaded. Alfred quickly tried to think of ways he could fix this, but nothing was coming up. Please do not argue. The two of you are doing so well. I am going to hell for this, Alessandra cried on the inside. Still, she could not believe how believable her conversation with Edgar was. It felt like an actual argument. Was I meant for the theater? Duchess, I am truly sorry for what I have caused. I was upset about the paint and wanted to make Edgar upset too. Please, please do not continue to argue any longer, both of you. I thought it would be something the two of you would pass over. I was wrong. Alfred bowed his head.
It was,
Edgar replied. What? Alfred straightened his body and waited for Edgar to clarify what he meant.
We made up the moment I returned to our bedroom. You should be thankful I appreciate having you around, Alfred. I truly thought of taking this to another level and mentioning divorce, but I can't stand the sight of you constantly apologizing. We were teasing you. Edgar revealed the sly smile he had been hiding. Isn't she something for going along with it?
Only because you said it was either him or me, Alessandra thought. It wasn't like she had jumped for joy at the opportunity to tease Alfred. How did their day of fun go from painting to the creek to scaring Alfred? If she continued with Edgar's idea of fun, she might end up burying someone. I'm sorry, Alessandra apologized. Oh, thank goodness. Alfred released a breath he had been holding in. He touched his chest to calm down the tightness he felt. He truly felt faint from the thought of Edgar and Alessandra's relationship being destroyed. I need to sit down for a moment. I am too old to be played with like this.
Talk about being dramatic. You're not that old.
Edgar rolled his eyes. Alfred was far from being frail. This was the same man who took part in training with his men.
Well, this is boring.
Don't slouch, Heather. Your mother has spent too much money on tutors for you to not have learned anything. Sit up. Heather shifted in her seat to do as Priscilla wanted. She did not have to go through this with her own mother. Why did she call for me? She wondered. The day had been peaceful until Priscilla sent a letter requesting her presence. Priscilla sat on the balcony of her home, looking out at the view. White Town might be boring, but it certainly has better views than Lockwood. Ugh, my head has been aching all night. She placed her forehead in the palm of her hand. Should I bring medicine for you? Heather asked. No, I've already taken something for it. It might just be a mental thing. I've been thinking about Edgar's situation all night long. How can I possibly get rid of that girl? Edgar is only keeping her around to annoy me, but the longer she stays, the longer she gets to carry our last name. Why can't things go my way? Priscilla sighed. Her body tingled for a bit of alcohol to calm her nerves. The Queen seems to have taken a liking to her. A lot of people are watching how they speak about her because of Edgar. It won't be long before they start inviting her to private parties and acting like her friend because they want to get close to Edgar. Priscilla rolled her eyes at the mention of the Queen. Do not mention the Queen around me. That woman is not what I expected. She attacked my marriage next to that girl. I have completely written off the Queen from my book. But she is the Queen, Heather thought. Anyone would have to be a fool to get on the Queen's bad side. Priscilla might be a social queen, but Hazel was an actual queen, and everyone wanted to be the Queen's friend. The King and Edgar are close. It would put a strain on their relationship if you and the Queen are in a bad place. Heather tried to make Priscilla more open-minded. The only woman I will ever pretend to be nice to is my mother-in-law. Edgar and Tobias's friendship will not be affected by my dislike for the Queen. They've survived much more. Now tell me, how do you plan to shift Edgar's attention from that woman to you? Priscilla asked. Heather felt uncomfortable due to the question. She did not want to try seducing a married man. Although Alessandra was not what she imagined for Edgar to be with, Heather could never hurt another woman with an affair. From what she heard her mother whispering about with her other friends, Priscilla should not be forcing anyone to take part in an affair. Well, Heather rubbed the back of her hand. Stop that. It's an awful habit. I told your mother to send you to the same school as Edgar. Oh, my son was a lost cause. But they would have fixed these bad habits you have. I'll speak to your mother. Now go on, talk. You weren't at the table to hear it, but Edgar seems to dislike me, I think. Heather paused to take a deep breath. She tried to muster up the courage to tell Priscilla that she wanted to move on from Edgar and look to marry someone else. Priscilla? Edmund's voice thundered throughout the house, almost loud enough to shake the walls. Why are you yelling? Do you want the servants to think there is a madman loose in our home? What have I done to upset the wonderful Edmund Collins? Heather, do you see why I have a headache? The men in my life are crazy. Priscilla sighed, then glanced at her fuming husband. My headache is complaining about other people being her headache, Heather thought. Edmund counted to 10 quietly before asking, What happened to that girl you had watching Edgar? Be honest with me. Be specific, Edmund. There was more than one. The one that recently got off of our carriage. The town guards just came to alert us of her death, and they have questions for both of us. I told them to return later so that you and I could have a little chat. Tell me the truth, Priscilla. No bullshit, said Edmund. How on earth am I supposed to know when she got out of the carriage? Do you honestly think I would waste my precious time meeting with a girl who was no longer of use to me? It's unfortunate that she has died, but it has nothing to do with us.
those little guards away next time they visit, and don't bother me with this. Oh, Priscilla suddenly realized something. How on earth did they think to ask us about her? Edgar. What? Priscilla screeched, causing Heather to place her hands over her ears while Edmund sighed. My son? My own flesh and blood informed them of that? And yet you wonder why I'm always upset with him. I don't know what kind of a man I've raised. You didn't raise him, Priscilla. Neither did I. We handed him off to nannies, and then Alfred came along. We have a lot to thank him for. Sometimes I feel like we are meant to pay him for his work alongside Edgar. I must have a talk with him. If I find out you had anything to do with her death, I swear I will ship you back to White Tower forever. Excuse me, Heather, Edmund said, then walked away from the balcony. I am honestly sick and tired of hearing about that damn butler raising the son I bore. I spent countless hours getting involved in Edgar's life, but all the credit goes to the butler. Priscilla balled up her fists. When he was younger, she was certain Alfred got in his ear and turned him against her. That butler doesn't deserve any credit. Oh, I can't bear it anymore. I'll get rid of him, Priscilla concluded. Do you think she would still be alive if she came along with us? Lockwood is not safe for women these days. None of us thought about that back then. Heather started to regret not speaking up to let Jennifer off somewhere safer. It is not our fault. It was in the daytime, and we left her off where other carriages passed. Whatever trouble she found herself in was her fault. She most likely went trying to grab money because she spent all that I gave her, and she's without a job. This nonsense will only ruin my day. Priscilla pushed her cup of tea to the side, as she was no longer in the mood for it. It is still tragic, said Heather. She felt guilty for not doing more. Shouldn't Priscilla feel the same? It truly is tragic for Edgar to send those guards to our home, as if I could be a culprit. I need to have a chat with that boy, but he is not allowing anyone into his home. We can see the reason behind it. His little wife must be scared to face me. I hope her sister can prove herself to be useful. It seems like her sister also shares feelings for Edgar. You might give her the wrong idea. Perhaps that is part of why she dislikes the Duchess. Do not refer to her as Duchess, Priscilla yelled at the top of her lungs. She thought Heather would be smart enough to know not to refer to Alessandra as the Duchess. After a long pause, she saw the fear in Heather's eyes. Priscilla smiled to appear less threatening. Forgive me, Heather. My emotions are all over the place, and your words just happened to upset me. I'm sorry, Heather apologized, though it was not her fault. She played with her fingers to help get over what she felt. How much more of Priscilla's emotional abuse did she have to take? I didn't mean to upset you, she sobbed. Great, Priscilla touched her temple. Now I look like the bad guy for making you cry, she sighed. Priscilla was starting to see Heather as a bad choice for Edgar. The girl was too emotional, and the position of Duchess needed to belong to someone who wouldn't cry from being yelled at. Heather was starting to appear useless, and Priscilla had no need for anyone useless by her side. It was the friendship she had with Heather's mother that kept Priscilla from ousting Heather from her circle. Heather, I suppose it is time you return home. Your mother must be in need of company. I no longer find you suitable for Edgar. You don't have enough determination, common sense, and confidence to get to my son after all these years. And surely you will not be able to be a good duchess. We shouldn't torture each other much longer. Thanks to my friendship with your mother, I will invite you to spend time with me like this. Friendship with my mother? Heather found those words to be insulting. She spent countless days keeping Priscilla company, even when her mother was not present. After all that time, Priscilla will only keep inviting her around because of the friendship she has with her mother? What about their friendship? Heather always knew she was practically a doll used to entertain Priscilla when the woman felt bored. She at least hoped there was a friendship there, that she was more than just the daughter of Priscilla's friend. Priscilla was overbearing and controlling at times when it came to Edgar, but Heather still cared for her. I should be glad I can move on from waiting on Edgar, but I still feel hurt. I should tell her, Heather thought. Heather, why are you still sitting there after I said you can go home? Is there something you wish to say to me? Priscilla expected Heather to beg to be given another chance to win Edgar's love. After years of waiting, Heather shouldn't let it fall from her fingers. It would show a tiny bit of determination. I will leave right away. Heather pushed back her chair and stood up. In the end, she could not speak her mind to Priscilla, the woman she feared more than her own mother. Thank you for inviting me today. Priscilla frowned, slightly disappointed by how easy it was for Heather to give up. It was evident she made the right decision by giving up on Heather. How annoying. After I've spent many months molding her to be the perfect daughter-in-law. Priscilla didn't bother to offer Heather any further goodbyes when she started to walk away. Instead, she stood up right after and walked to her bedroom. Edmund believed she had something to do with Jennifer's murder, so the one place he wouldn't be was in their bedroom. He could dig around as much as he liked. There was nothing he would find to label her the murderer. Why couldn't he just be the perfect husband and accept her words instead of doubting her? After countless years together, their arranged marriage had not blossomed into this romantic marriage their parents spoke of. They had enough feelings for each other to stay together this long, but there was always a big wall preventing them from being as close as they could be. Priscilla loved Edmund, and she was certain he also loved her, but they were different in the way they viewed the world. Priscilla cared more about the spotlight, while Edmund spent most of his time trying to fight for others. Priscilla entered their bedroom and went straight for her vanity to have a seat. Countless pieces of jewelry had been picked out and organized for her to have at hand, for when she felt like changing in the spur of the moment. Shopping will help me clear my mind and put me in better spirits, Priscilla said as she took off the earrings she currently wore to replace them with another set, more fit for going outside with. Her eyes eventually drifted to a specific pair of earrings. Priscilla picked up the pair of diamond earrings and recalled the time she recently wore them. That fool, she muttered. The fresh memory of Jennifer threatening her with the information she claimed to know about her family repeated in her mind. Jennifer had the nerve to ask Priscilla for the earrings she was wearing in order to keep quiet. One earring was enough to provide money for Jennifer for a year. It was unfortunate Jennifer underestimated the woman she was up against. How annoying, Priscilla muttered. And in the end, she decided to wear the earrings Jennifer wanted. At least she had good taste.